Tonight, missed flights, soiled clothes, and a feeling of abandonment. When these women flew through Charlotte, they sat waiting unattended at the airport, even though they requested special wheelchair assistance to help them travel.
WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito discovered this is part of a nationwide problem, and he's seeking solutions to it tonight.
Federal law requires airlines to offer people with disabilities wheelchair help. But records show complaints against airlines have skyrocketed over the years. Fiercely independent,
She done took over the chair.
Henrietta Brand spent her career serving the public.
Hey, I used to love it.
But now she's the one who needs help. The 78-year-old's family says she is battling early onset Alzheimer's and holding on to whatever freedom remains. Flying by herself is no longer an option.
Absolutely not.
Henrietta visited another daughter in Charlotte in March and arrived at the airport early for her return trip to New York.
They left me alone.
Her kids say they depended on Delta to help their mom on and off the plane.
Everybody was going, everybody.
Brand says workers brought her to a waiting area ahead of her flight home and then didn't come back,
Every plane had gone and I'm still sitting there.
including her plane, which departed for New York without her.
I think this is the first time I've ever got scared of something.
While she sat alone in fear, her children panicked.
Just hearing my mom, even now, it's extremely emotional.
I felt disrespected.
Tracy Whitley, a fellow New Yorker, knows what it feels like to be deserted too. The 56-year-old, legally blind and battling multiple sclerosis, says she didn't wait nearly as long,
She never came back.
but tells us American Airlines workers abandoned her twice during a layover in Charlotte back in November,
I had to go to the bathroom, and these people never came back.
leaving her with no choice but to relieve herself as she sat unattended in a wheelchair.
How can this happen?
It's shameful.
Whitney Carter says her 72-year-old mother from Virginia also soiled herself because she couldn't hold it any longer.
She, was confused and didn't know how to get to the restroom.
Weta Sloan stopped in Charlotte for an American Airlines layover last June.
She got left at the gate.
Carter says the airline abandoned her mom, a stroke survivor who also suffers from dementia. As a result, Carter says her mother missed her layover and spent the night at the airport.
They need to do better.
The most recently available federal data show these women are far from the only ones failed by airlines. The number of complaints received by the Department of Transportation related to a lack of adequate assistance for people using wheelchairs nearly tripled from 2004 through 2018.
Congress has created, in a sense, special protections for the airline industry.
Disability rights North Carolina attorney Chris Hodgson says while passengers can file complaints with the airlines and the Department of Transportation, that's the extent of their recourse. They can't bring a lawsuit.
There's just no way to compensate somebody for the discrimination they've experienced the way the system is currently been set up.
The American Bar Association has urged Congress to change federal law so passengers can sue, citing frequent and significant violations of passengers' civil rights. The end goal is to create a deterrent effect so other mobility-impaired travelers never have to suffer the same fate as Weta,
I hope it gets rectified quickly.
Tracy,
It's just ridiculous.
and Henrietta.
Oh, I got mad, okay?
Delta told us in Henrietta's case, it appears a contract worker took her to the wrong gate and then never alerted the proper people, noting the shift manager doesn't work for the contractor anymore. In a statement, Delta said the company takes Henrietta's report with the utmost seriousness and is reviewing the situation with local contract leadership to ensure the welcoming and inclusive environment all customers deserve. The company encourages travelers who need special services to add specific notes to their reservations to better guide workers. American Airlines, meanwhile, admitted in the cases of Weta and Tracy, the airline fell short. In a statement, American said since last summer, the company has worked with its wheelchair support vendor to ensure there's appropriate staff and resources available to care for customers. Adding, American has remained in regular communication with both women to apologize and learn ways to improve. American says its wheelchair contractor faced staffing problems last summer as more people returned to the skies, but today is properly staffed. Thanks to that and management oversight, the airline says reported problems have decreased at CLT. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
Such upsetting accounts there from those women. By the way, you can actually see the trends here, just how many inadequate assistance complaints the DOT has gotten from passengers using wheelchairs. Just look for Nate's story on WCNC.com or a mobile app to find that graph you see there.